God King Zongfu felt as if his spirit was about to collapse, thinking of facing Emperor Qing and primogenitor Feng. Both Emperor Qing and primogenitor Feng had once attacked him spiritually. Emperor Qing and primogenitor Feng had used many deadly moves, even eliminating all his apparent avatars and resurrection carriers. This black-robed powerhouse showed mercy. If he wished, he could have destroyed this avatar of mine, God King Zongfu thought, his spirit in tatters, further influenced by the deep domain of the dream realm. However, because the spiritual will of the external, life-saving avatar remained intact, it also allowed this avatar to swiftly recover its spiritual will. Such is the nature of spiritual will. To exterminate, all avatar spiritual wills must be completely destroyed. Otherwise, as long as one avatar's spirit remains intact, the others can recover. I accept my defeat, said God King Zongfu, and using the causality escape technique, he vanished without a trace. Under such terrifying will, he had no way of fighting back. Boom. Luo Feng, however, looked at the purple-robed woman and began to use different attack moves from the Lai Yuan technique. Aside from his most familiar will star, he also created a will blade light, targeting her with all his might, but the purple-robed woman completely withstood them. She withstood his spiritual attack and even resisted the influences of the deep domain of the dream realm. I admire you. Although I didn't bring any super-secret treasures, the purple-robed woman looked at Luo Feng. The one who came here is just one of my avatars, likely allowing me to use about 70% of my heart force to resist. You are already quite remarkable. Will beyond God King level on the land of origin is few and far between. You are neither Emperor Qing, Emperor Ming, nor the Lord of 10,000 Realms. The purple-robed woman looked at Luo Feng and smiled gently. I didn't expect a new existence of will beyond God King level to emerge from the land of origin. Luo Feng looked at her. I was a bit arrogant just now. You truly are formidable, clearly possessing the God King ultimate realm will, yet in front of me, you still have the strength to resist. This battle is not yet decided, the purple-robed woman said. Even with just 30% of my heart force, I can still use ultimate realm moves. Please, Luo Feng said with a smile as he looked at her. The purple-robed woman looked back at Luo Feng, no longer holding back, having continuously endured the torment of terrifying spiritual will attacks. Her eyes were cold. An invisible attack descended. Luo Feng's physical body immediately began to suffer various levels of attacks. Material, energy, and rule operations all aimed to damage Luo Feng's physical body and hurt his soul. Yet Luo Feng's very essence was like a vast world, operating naturally, minor damages naturally healing. His soul was also a robust base, led by a strong spiritual will with the Lai Yuan technique in operation. It casually mitigated these minor soul-level perturbations. Her physical body is not an ultimate realm life form. It does not feel like the great Tao perfection. But his body is too vast, his energy reserve too powerful. The damage I caused on various levels, he instantly recovered, thought the purple-robed woman, feeling a chill in her heart. When a body size reaches a certain extent, quantity can compensate for minor qualitative differences. You can also take one of my moves, Luo Feng said with a smile, reaching out and gently pointing. A drop of blood flew out from the tip of Luo Feng's finger. This drop of blood, however, contained about 1/10 of the reserves of this powerful avatar of Luo Feng. The purple-robed woman, upon seeing the drop of blood, sensed a terrifying fear. This drop of blood had some nuances of the blood-colored scales deep within the star tower. Luo Feng had always pursued using the 9 branches of the great Tao of life and death, trying his best to decipher the secret patterns mysteries of the blood-colored scales. But so far the strongest was the fusion of 2 of the 7-branch techniques. At this moment Luo Feng used a 7-branch fusion technique, blood dripping. This technique, the more energy incorporated, the more terrifying its potency. Now Luo Feng had integrated the energy reserve of a perfect divine body into one move, which was the limit of spiritual control he could achieve. Buzz. The drop of blood, just as it flew out from Luo Feng's fingertip, instantly tainted the skin on the purple-robed woman's finger. The moment it tainted her, this drop of blood instantly corroded, madly seeping into every part of the purple-robed woman's body, every life structure within her. As each life structure was completely eroded, that part of force was transformed, becoming part of the energy within Luo Feng's drop of blood. Absorption, transformation? Even the power containing my will can be taken? The purple-robed woman was shocked. This surpasses ordinary ultimate realm secret techniques, already having the enlightenment, might of the Lord of 10,000 Realms. The so-called enlightenment from the Lord of 10,000 Realms could also convert other powers into part of his own. My avatar can only maintain 30% of my heart force. It can't withstand the erosion of this drop of blood. I must rely on my true self's power. The purple-robed woman looked at Luo Feng, knowing she had to give up. I admire you. Having said that, she instantly left the dream realm space. As she fled the dream realm space, the drop of blood also automatically separated from her, for it contained the energy reserve of a perfect divine body, which Luo Feng obviously could not let her take away. Combining Lai Yuan technique and the 7 branches secret method blood dripping, I went all out and it was only enough to repel one of her avatars. Luo Feng watched her leaving direction remotely. I wonder who she really is. You don't blame me for finding ways to motivate you to cultivate. One is for your own good so you can break free from the shackles of fate. The second is for me. The stronger you become, the more hope there is for my path of cultivation. The Purplewood Godly King once had the chance to meet Yuan. The first question he asked was whether there was a way to revive his family members. Yuan replied that one must break free from the braided cage and become the master of the source world, land of origin. Then it would be possible to rescue any life that has passed away from the river of time and space. From that moment on, the Purplewood Godly King was filled with endless longing when it came to cultivation. He himself was diligently cultivating. He was also guiding his protector, the Sector Beast, to work hard at cultivation. The Sector Beast greatly assisted him, and it collected various rare treasures under his guidance. He could not possibly stand idly by and watch the Sector Beast indulge in idleness until the end of this part of the source world. In Flame Wind Ancient Country, a hidden and vast space, Emperor Qing, Jiufeng, and Wu, the three of them converged their thoughts here. Three dispersed cultivators respectively, are God King Zongfu, the purple-robed woman, and the black-robed and golden-faced powerhouses, said Jiufeng. I guarded the entrance to the dream domain for some time. On the day of my failure, God King Zongfu escaped through the formation using the causality escape technique. The purple-robed woman's escape was even more remarkable, and I could barely sense her with my domain. The black-robed and golden-faced powerhouse, however, broke through the formations of the two ancient countries just now and likely obtained the Thousand Dreams fruit. His escape skill is extremely fast, giving me no chance to intercept. Since his failure, Jiufeng had been secretly monitoring the entrance formation. With his understanding of the spatial domain, he was aware of all who passed by. Not one thread of causality or breath of life could escape his notice. Emperor Fu. Wu asked doubtfully, and the scenes of their battles have also been provided to you. Can you confirm their identities? Jiufeng also looked at Fu. Fu's ability to divine the destiny was extremely terrifying, and he possessed secret treasures of formations bestowed by the ancestors. Very few in the land of origin could elude him. I cannot confirm, Fu frowned and shook his head. Neither the purple-robed woman nor the black-robed and golden-faced powerhouse can be confirmed? Wu and Jiufeng both wondered. There are several possibilities for the purple-robed woman, said Fu. It could be the Wind City Empress. She was cultivated by the East Extreme Domain ancestor, and her resources are no less than ours of the royal family godly kings. She appears low-key, but in reality she is unfathomable. The purple-robed woman could also be the Lord of 10,000 Realms or an avatar of the Sector Beast. Wind City Empress, Lord of 10,000 Realms, Sector Beast. Wu and Jiufeng pondered. What about the black-robed and golden-faced powerhouse? Asked Jiufeng. My annihilation wind could not even shake his physical body. His physical strength is definitely not inferior to that of an ultimate realm life form. His soul or spiritual will techniques could instantaneously kill the Emperor of Tianquan. With the physical body and soul both being so terrifying, there are very few in the land of origin who could achieve this. But those few I know of are unlikely to be the black-robed and golden-faced powerhouse, said Jiufeng. I am also puzzled. Wu was confused. The suspects I'm considering do not match either. Fu shook his head. I guess it might be a newly emerged strong being. The land of origin is full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers, with many reaching the second realm of godly king. It is possible that one of them has quietly reached the ultimate realm. Upon reaching the ultimate realm, having a strong physical body and transcending godly king level spiritual will is quite normal. The Lord of 10,000 Realms and Emperor Qing, the two who had comprehended a complete great Tao, both had spiritual wills that surpassed godly king level. A newly emerged strong being? A possible new ultimate realm? Jiufeng and Wu were shocked. With both physical body and soul so strong, even if he is not yet of the ultimate realm, we must treat him as one. Fu did not say much more. Jiufeng and Wu nodded and eventually had to leave. Fu was alone in this vast space. Such a strong physical body? Then there is an 8 or 9 out of 10 chance it's Luo He. Fu revealed a smile, quite satisfied. Among the 5 powerhouses vying for the Thousand Dreams fruit, suspected to be either the Lord of 10,000 Realms or an avatar of the Sector Beast, you were the final winner. Much stronger than I had anticipated. Emperor Qing looks down on me. He has long had an avatar leave the land of origin to forge his own path. The Lord of 10,000 Realms, cunning and deceptive, I do not favor. Emperor Ming, not suitable to be a companion, who knows if one day death will come by his hand. Luo he has grown up all along with considerable loyalty, just right to be a companion to face life and death together. Fu frowned slightly. He has grown too quickly. I should still arrange an avatar to guard the transmission channel. Once he leaves I will immediately go with him. That way I can also head to the same place. Because his strength was so formidable, Fu had long been preparing to leave the land of origin, and Luo he was the companion he had decided on. Leaving the land of origin to risk one's life, finding a trustworthy companion with whom to share life and death is very difficult. Before LuoFeng rose to fame, Fu even prepared to venture alone. Without a suitable companion he would rather act solo. Uyang City. This Thousand Dreams fruit still must be traded with the two ancient countries, in exchange for some parts of the corpses of ultimate Realm Primordial Bloodline creatures. LuoFeng pondered in the city owner's mansion over the trading affairs. The 3 alien clans might also provide parts of corpses of ultimate Realm Primordial Bloodline creatures, but most likely, they would offer creatures cultivated from other source worlds. And then he wouldn't be able to use formless and intangible to transform. Luo Feng's world life form is currently in 24 forms. Luo Feng had to consider for the ultimate realm as well. Naturally, he wanted to obtain the corpse materials of ultimate realm primordial bloodline creatures bred on the home turf. Most of these corpse materials should be consumed by Morosa. A very small amount will be left for my own cultivation, Luo Feng decided. This red scale species is truly troublesome. My palm world formed into a cage inherently with multiple spatial seals. Yet this red scale species managed to consume space and even gnaw at the world membrane of my palm world. Luo Feng immediately replenished his energy continuously to maintain the integrity of the palm cage. Although in terms of killing efficiency, the palm cage is somewhat inferior to blood dripping. When it comes to trapping enemies, its efficiency is several times higher. Luo Feng deduced. With the same energy consumption, the palm cage could trap the red scale species for a longer duration. It's a pity I didn't dare to bring the star tower in here. If I had the star tower, I could have suppressed the entire red scale species long ago. Luo Feng could only ruefully think about it. He dared not take the risk. Risk-taking might succeed 100 or 1,000 times, but if it failed just once, the star tower would be gone. All the treasures of the dream realm combined were, in his heart, less significant than the star tower. Luo Feng, while watching the Thousand Dreams fruit, maintained the integrity of the palm cage. Every moment his body consumed a great deal of energy. Suddenly, the radiance of the Thousand Dreams fruit converged, becoming utterly ordinary, and its fragrance completely restrained. It's finally fully matured. Luo Feng rejoiced. A stream of the vast river swiftly swept past the Thousand Dreams fruit, harvesting it immediately. A prepared treasure box instantly secured the fruit. Treasure in hand, time to go. Luo Feng's palm cage instantly released the red scale species. He himself, however, flashed with black light, having already escaped from this dream realm space. The released red scale species roamed angrily around, unable to find their foe and destructively eroding the surroundings. Luo Feng arrived outside in the perimeter area of the dream realm, looking at the entrance area sealed by the two ancient countries' imperial clans. Whoosh! With a flash of black light, Luo Feng instantly crossed through the sealing array of the two ancient countries and out of the exit, and with another flash he was already back within Huyang City. This was one of Luo Feng's 6 branches fusion techniques, the black light escape technique. Luo Feng's 6 branches fusion techniques, aside from the earlier Great Extinction style, the later deduced Heavenly Light Silver Shuttle, and Black Light Escape technique, were similar, all exceptionally swift. The speed was as fast as thought. The thought arrived, the movement followed. Thus, escaping the Heavenly Light Silver Shuttle was inevitable, unavoidable. The Black Light Escape technique, in a single thought, moved from the outer layer of the dream realm to outside the exit, forcibly penetrating the entire formation. If it were in the land of origin, a single thought could move from one end of the land of origin to the other. This was the might of the ultimate realm escape skill. Each move of the ultimate realm had its exceptional qualities. Like the Wuxing God King's hidden heaven escape skill, even the formations of the two ancient countries in the dream realm couldn't detect it. Some powerful individual has forcibly crossed the formation. The two ancient countries' imperial clans were all stirred, but given the limited strength of the garrison at the entrance of the dream realm, when even the reincarnation tower teams dared to make a strong assault, Luo Feng forcibly breaking out was something their formation simply couldn't stop. Outside the exit of the dream realm, a purple-robed woman stood in the distance, patiently waiting. Whoosh! The black-robed man with a golden mask appeared instantaneously at the exit and then disappeared again in an instant. He's come out. The purple-robed woman watched the scene. His escape skill has also reached the ultimate realm level, but his technique carries a trace of the path of destruction. Who is he? The purple-robed woman was quite curious. Whoosh! Silently, she disappeared without a trace. Tinmu Kingdom. Beyond the two ancient countries on the whole land of origin, the entities that could be considered first-rate powers included Tianmu Kingdom, Wanjie Kingdom, and East Extreme Domain. Of these, Tianmu Kingdom was the most low-profile. Whoosh! The purple-robed woman arrived deep inside a palace where a handsome young man was observing a mysterious painting hanging in the air, with countless secret patterns flowing on it. Whoosh! The purple-robed woman directly transformed into a streak of light, flying into the body of the handsome young man. It's a pity that this attempt failed. I couldn't help Big Brother seize a share of the Thousand Dreams fruit. The handsome young man looked at the mysterious painting and shook his head slightly. As a sector beast, relying on one's own cultivation is truly difficult. This secret pattern book is utterly beyond me, it's too hard. The handsome young man looked at the secret pattern book. Read new chapters at my virtual library empire. Behind him, a colossal dark red figure began to condense and emerge, its gaping maw seeming ready to devour everything. I have worked very hard. As for my physical body, I've cultivated a total of 7 destruction path bodies. As for secret techniques, I've also comprehended a total of 129 ultimate realm secret techniques. Even the power can be stronger when the secret techniques are combined. Regarding spiritual will, I've also collected various spiritual will secret techniques and have been diligently practicing them for a long time. The handsome young man's face was fierce, his eyes crazed. But no matter how I practice, it's always the ultimate realm. Physical body, secret techniques, spiritual will, all are at the ultimate realm level, not one can break through the limit. I won't practice anymore, I won't practice anymore. The handsome young man, in a rage, threw the secret pattern book in his hand aside, smashing it into a corner of the hall. This was a legacy left by Yuan. The Tianmu kingdom had only obtained 2 pieces of Yuan's legacy over the long ages, one of which was being contemplated by a sector beast for a long time. The handsome young man disappeared from the hall in an instant. On top of a majestic mountain, the handsome young man sat alone, drinking heavily and devouring meat. All these were delicacies and fine wines he had collected from the land of origin, preserved perfectly in time-stopped treasure storage, naturally maintaining the food's flavor. A middle-aged man appeared beside him. Big brother has come, the handsome young man said, continuing to drink his wine. My avatar in the dream domain was unable to snatch the 1,000 dreams fruit. You have collected resources for me for endless years and have also exchanged for a portion of ultimate primordial bloodline for me. I truly don't lack resources now, said the middle-aged man. You need to consider more for yourself. The handsome young man shook his head. I don't want to think about myself. The land of origin, this source world, is gradually approaching its end, and it will probably only be tens of billions of years before it meets with great destruction, said the purple-wood godly king, looking at the handsome young man. You, as a sector beast, were born from the destruction of the origin. You will also cease to exist along with the entire source world when it is destroyed. This is the destiny of a sector beast. Only by breaking through the limit, becoming a being beyond God King level, can you free yourself from the shackles of the destruction of the origin. Under the operation of supreme rules, the great Tao of destruction origin nurtured the sector beasts, which could simply grow normally to reach the ultimate realm, possessing many abilities such as perfect life forms, clone technique, and breeding legions. But sector beasts also had many constraints. Their minds were born with constraints, making them naturally crave the end of the world. It was only after being enslaved by the soul that they could suppress their innate desires of the mind. Their lives had constraints too. All sector beasts cannot survive the great destruction and live into the next era of the source world. They were born from the destruction great Tao and in the end, would also return to nothingness. You helped me get the ultimate primordial bloodline, and I have also become an ultimate realm life form, said the purple-wood godly king, looking at the handsome young man. You have helped me a lot. In the future, I can use the transmission channel left by Yuan to leave the land of origin. But you? When the land of origin is destroyed, are you ready to face death? To let me cultivate alone outside? The purple-wood godly king looked at the handsome young man. You are the only close kin I have left. The handsome young man looked at the purple-wood godly king. When he was born, the first figure he saw was the purple-wood godly king. The purple-wood godly king had always helped him, taught him, and led his growth. Although he was called a brother, he was more like a father. I really feel terrible, the handsome young man said, lifting his head, his face contorted. Big brother, I really suffer. I was accustomed to various profound mysteries naturally appearing in my mind, naturally becoming ultimate realm. It's truly torturous and painful for me to cultivate on my own. You have already created some new secret techniques. As long as you keep progressing and accumulating, there'll eventually be a breakthrough, said the purple-wood godly king. No, these are just some application skills of the path of destruction. The handsome young man looked at the purple-wood godly king and said weakly, I simply can't absorb new knowledge and integrate it into the great Tao of destruction origin. The great Tao of destruction origin is too perfect in my heart. I cannot change even a bit of it, said the handsome young man. I can't break through the limit, I just can't. Big brother, stop pushing me, it's too difficult to live like this. I'd rather live a carefree life for tens of billions of years than torture myself with cultivation. The purple-wood godly king paused, then sighed softly. Let it be, let's drink today, he said, sitting down. Yes, drink, said the handsome young man. For the days to come, how about we cultivate for one era and enjoy for another, said the purple-wood godly king. Devote 50% of your time to cultivation? The handsome young man appeared pained, but looking into the expectant eyes of the purple-wood godly king, he nodded. Okay, I'll listen to you, big brother. The purple-wood godly king gave a slight smile. Drink, for the next era, let's enjoy to the fullest. The handsome young man laughed happily, drinking with the purple-wood godly king. Haha, drink. The purple-wood godly king also drank freely and chuckled, looking at the handsome young man. You don't blame me for pushing you too hard. I know big brother wants the best for me, to free me from the chains of a sector beast's fate, said the handsome young man. If you really can't free yourself, then I will be with you until the last day of my life. The purple-wood godly king laughed as he looked into the distance. Let's face the end of the source world together, that would be satisfying. The handsome young man was taken aback, looking at the purple-wood godly king. No, big brother, you must leave the land of origin before the end of the source world. If you delay until the end, you will die. I only have you left as my close kin. If you're not around anymore, why should I continue to cultivate to fight for anything? The purple-wood godly king looked at the handsome young man. Cultivating alone, it's already pointless. No, the handsome young man shook his head. Let's not talk about that anymore, let's just enjoy drinking, said the purple-wood godly king. Yet, at this moment, the handsome young man felt the wine had lost its taste. Indeed, during the long years spent with his brother, the brother indeed valued his kin extremely. After his revenge, his longing for the world had waned considerably. He didn't even step out of Tianmu Kingdom. In Tianmu Kingdom, many matters were handled by a sector beast's avatar transformed into the image of the purple-wood godly king. Big brother holds little attachment to the entire land of origin. I am his only closest kin. If I die, Big Brother might truly. At this moment he felt a stronger sense of urgency towards cultivation. Not only for himself but also for his older brother, the Purplewood Godly King. The Purplewood Godly King watched the scene silently. He admitted that after the long years they had spent together, deep feelings had indeed formed. Yet, deep within his heart what he valued most, were still his family members and children from his weaker, earlier years. LuoFeng looked toward the only black fruit on the fruit tree in the distant cliff crevice, the Thousand Dreams fruit that had been contested by 5 powerful individuals. Now he alone stood there. The more critical the moment, the more cautious I must be. I can't let other powerhouses steal it in the end. LuoFeng's spiritual will instantly spread out, enveloping the vast surrounding area to guard against any enemies who might silently come to snatch the treasure. God King Zongfu and Jiufeng were each incredibly skilled in their escape techniques. Only when his spiritual will covered a vast region did Luo feel relieved. This battle also showed the difference in strength, Luo reflected. Among them 4 without any treasures, Di Wu's weaker avatar was the weakest. Di Jiufeng and God King Zongfu were on par. The purple-robed woman was the strongest. Without the Lai Yuan technique, I might not even be able to defeat the purple-robed woman. Even though his spiritual will was strong without the Lai Yuan technique, the impact on the purple-robed woman's mind would be greatly reduced, allowing her to unleash even stronger power. This is just one of her avatars. Once she utilizes her true body combined with super-secret treasures, her deterrence will dramatically increase. Luo pondered. This battle has also proved that my Heavenly Light Silver Shuttle, a fusion of 6 branches secret technique, is comparable to the moves of the ultimate realm, not inferior to those of the Emperor. My blood dripping, a fusion of 7 branches secret technique, is even generally stronger than their techniques. Luo contemplated, summarizing his experiences from this battle. The Great Tao of Life and Death as a fusion Tao, was strong in each branch. 6 branches fusion was at the level of ordinary ultimate realm techniques. 7 branches fusion was evidently stronger than ultimate realm techniques. The Great Tao of Life and Death, if I could merge all 9 branches, the power of such techniques would far surpass the techniques of a single complete Great Tao, Luo thought. Indeed, the power of the Great Tao of Life and Death far surpassed individual Tao of Life, Destruction and Space. While Luo was in the Infinite Space Treasure Vault studying about perfect inheritances and special grade inheritances, he had already learned about the terrifying nature of the fusion Tao. For instance, the fusion of time and space forming the time-space Tao, was unimaginably powerful. Despite the fusion Tao being extremely formidable and inclusive, the difficulty of cultivation was also much higher. Luo sat cross-legged, his spiritual will spreading in all directions, silently on guard. He waited for about 3 days. On that fruit tree, the surface of the black fruit suddenly intensified in purple gloss, its dazzling purple light illuminating the vast surrounding area and emitting a faint fragrance. It's maturing. Luo sitting cross-legged, immediately stood up and looked at the Thousand Dreams fruit. Swoosh, 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 not far from the cliff there was noise from the water in the pond, and a black head emerged from the water, followed by a massive creature flying out of it. I've been waiting for you. Luo had already explored the surroundings. Within this vast range there was only this one native dream realm creature, and from its aura, it was still within his handling capacity. That's why Luo had set his sights on this Thousand Dreams fruit. In the deeper regions of the dream realm, treasures worth over 1 billion merit points were naturally not limited to the Thousand Dreams fruit. However, the creatures around those treasures were far too terrifying. This was the only kind Luo saw a possibility to pick for now. Go. Luo stood there, and suddenly rolling river water spread out, the vastness of a galaxy instantly enveloping the surrounding 100 billion kilometers, naturally binding and wrapping that black native creature. Roar! The native creature resembling a turtle let out a roar emitting endless cold air, which instantly froze a large amount of the silver river water surrounding it. Once free from the river's constraint, the massive creature charged toward the Thousand Dreams fruit, but a drop of blood had contaminated its body surface. 7 branches secret method blood dripping. This single drop of blood swiftly eroded its entire body. The black native creature turned a blackish red color and let out angry howls. However, under the erosion, its strength greatly diminished, and it was again bound by the endless river water. This time it couldn't break free. The roars continued and the cold air erupted. But the blood contamination and the river domain's restraint had already ensnared it. I hope there are no complications, Luo muttered as he watched the Thousand Dreams fruit, which emitted a fragrance, its dazzling purple light visible from a vast area of this space. Not good. Luo frowned slightly as he saw a dense swarm of red scale creatures approaching from a distance. Each of these red scale creatures wasn't very powerful, merely at the ordinary godly king tier, yet their numbers were overwhelming, impossible to count at a glance. It's the red scale species. I knew it wouldn't be easy to harvest the Thousand Dreams fruit. Luo identified the opponents and felt he could still contend. Having spent over a century in the deep area of the dream realm, he was very clear about the strength of this red scale species group. Red scale species, seemingly countless, in reality they all share one life, operating under a collective vague consciousness. Luo basing his actions on past intelligence, immediately devised a plan. He couldn't defeat the red scale species, but he could delay them, delay until the Thousand Dreams fruit was completely ripe. Buzz. the massive red scale species swarmed in. Suddenly, a grand surge of galaxy water enveloped them, restraining the red scale species. But the creatures, united in strength, easily broke through the water's restraints, charging straight for the Thousand Dreams fruit. Go! Luo Feng used the massive world life form transformed into endless river water to block the red scale species while also binding and entangling the massive turtle-like creature. Under Luo Feng's subtle guidance, the two forces collided. The red scale species' nature was to sweep through everything in their path. They similarly ravaged the massive turtle-like creature, and in the blink of an eye, the creature was partially eroded, its body massively shrinking. The drop of blood from Luo Feng had already rapidly receded. Roar! The massive turtle-like creature roared unwillingly, trying to escape. But trapped under the surging river water, it couldn't break free. In just over a dozen breaths' time, it was completely eroded by the red scale species, leaving no remains behind. That at least helped delay for a dozen breaths. Luo Feng slightly smiled, and then immediately, with a thought, a drop of blood swiftly confronted the red scale species, starting to erode them. Hiss. Several red scale creatures were eroded, turning into part of the blood. But many more red scale creatures obliterated a vast amount of blood. Both sides eroded and obliterated each other. Whoosh whoosh. The blood-dripping secret method's erosion had some effect on the red scale species. But their destructive power was terrifying, and Luo Feng's drop of blood, containing the energy reserve of a perfect divine body, was now being rapidly depleted. The blood-dripping secret method is too consuming, Luo Feng noted while keeping an eye on the Thousand Dreams fruit, and closely monitoring the consumption of the blood-dripping secret method. In the time it took to drink a pot of wine, the drop of blood was completely exhausted, and the red scale species had only dwindled by about 1/1000th of their size. The entire species swarmed toward the Thousand Dreams fruit again. Seal. Amid the vast silver river, a towering hand suddenly formed. This towering hand, with a gloomy abyss faintly visible in its palm, directly enveloped everything below. Heaven and earth twisted. Everything shifted. Imprison. Suppress. The entire red scale species vanished in an instant. Read latest chapters at my virtual library empire. Luo Feng appeared, looking at his left hand where the palm world, in his hand, was imprisoning this red scale species. Over the centuries, Luo Feng, after contemplating the Star Tower secret patterns, had deciphered two 7 branches fusion techniques. One was the secret technique blood dripping, and the other was cage, capable of completely suppressing and imprisoning a space. Within the territory of the Thunder Ancient Country, the Holy Land Mt. Latang. 9 monarchs with either their true bodies or avatars resided here. The Thunder Ancestor had even set up a terrifying formation at great cost, making this place the most dangerous in the entire land of origin. It was more fearsome than any city within the Flame Wind Ancient Country. Sigh. The wind blew, and a figure in a black robe with a golden mask appeared at the foot of Mt. Latang. The emperors of the Flame Wind Ancient Country live separately, but the majority of those from the Thunder Ancient Country are gathered here. Luo Feng raised his head to look at this holy mountain, where endless thunderbolts spread throughout the mountain ranges. Deep within Mt. Latang, there should be a hidden origin Tao of Thunderbolt. Although the 9 origin great Taos contained in the supreme rules of the land of origin did not include the Thunderbolt Tao. Yet, with Luo Feng's spiritual will, he could sense the presence of a Thunderbolt Tao hidden within this holy mountain. In the primordial cosmos, one could harbor the great Tao of life origin. Sector beasts too were vessels for the destruction of the origin. It was understandable that, with the methods of the Thunder Ancestor, an origin Tao of Thunderbolt could be concealed here. A powerful figure in a black robe and golden mask. That mysterious figure in a black robe and golden mask has come to Mt. Latang? The formation of Mt. Latang covered an extremely vast area. Although Luo Feng seemed to be just at the foot of the mountain, he was already within the observational range of Mt. Latang, which immediately caused a few monarchs to become alert. Whoosh. Endless thunderbolts converged at the foot of the mountain, and these thunderbolts eventually formed into a white-robed elder. Thunderbolts still traversed his body, each one with a force that somewhat surprised Luo Feng. There are 9 monarchs in the Thunder Ancient Country, and it is said that 3 of them belong to the Thunderbolt lineage, Luo Feng thought. Those of the Thunderbolt lineage can display incredible strength from their primordial bloodline. The white-robed elder before him, with thunderbolts naturally radiating from his body, each held the strength of Emperor Guisu and Wuxing God King. In terms of tapping into the primordial bloodline, the Thunderbolt lineage was the most powerful in the land of origin. Their secret techniques allowed for clearer consciousness and better extraction of the bloodline's power, and even secret treasures were highly compatible with their bloodline. I am Lei Fu, the white-robed elder said with a smile, looking at Luo Feng. I have long heard of the renown of the One in Black. As he spoke, an invisible will spread out, silently invading toward Luo Feng. Boom. Luo Feng's spiritual will was vast and profound, and with just a slight touch, the white-robed elder immediately withdrew his probe of spiritual will. Your spiritual will can surpass that of a godly king level. I am impressed, said the white-robed elder with a smile. The entire land of origin recognizes the Thunderbolt lineage of the Thunder Ancient Country as the strongest when it comes to cultivating primordial bloodlines. Who would have thought their spiritual secret methods would be so extraordinary as well, extolled Luo Feng. You flatter me. The white-robed elder was quite curious about the identity of the strong figure in the black robe and golden mask before him. After all, across the entire land of origin, those whose spiritual will exceeded the godly king level were few and far fewer than emperors and monarchs. And they were particularly effective against emperors and monarchs who cultivated primordial bloodlines. Before Luo Feng, those emperors and monarchs who cultivated primordial bloodlines, relying on secret treasures and ultimate realm life forms, could maintain clarity of mind but would suffer greatly in strength. Even some emperors and monarchs with weaker spiritual will found it difficult to stay clear-headed under normal circumstances, and if they were attacked by Luo Feng's spiritual will, they were likely to lose control. Lei Fu monarch, by chance I have obtained the exotic, Thousand Dreams fruit, said Luo Feng. I'm wondering if the Thunder Ancient Country might be interested? Thousand Dreams fruit? Lei Fu monarch said with a smile. Of course we're interested. I'd like to exchange it for parts of the body of an ultimate realm primordial bloodline creature, Luo Feng continued. The more material from the bodies, the better, and it can come from different ultimate realm primordial bloodline creatures. Upon hearing this, Lei Fu monarch was surprised. Body materials? Even if you obtain some material, it's not possible to refine a complete primordial bloodline. The ultimate primordial bloodline is not easy to refine, even for our ancestors. I know. I only need a small amount of body material, said Luo Feng. I've also contacted the Flame Wind Ancient Country and the 3 alien clans. Whichever side offers more material, I will eventually trade with them. Negotiating with all 5 sides at the same time? Lei Fu monarch nodded slightly. Good, we in the Thunder Ancient Country will discuss this matter internally. It was quite normal for negotiations involving treasures of this level to include all 5 parties. I hope that within 3 days the Thunder Ancient Country can give me a reply, Luo Feng said as he threw out a command token. You can contact me through this token when the time comes. The 4 most precious items are all things that our Thunder Ancient Country is willing to pay a great price for. Lei Fu monarch took the command token and said, Rest assured, we will give you a very satisfactory offer. Luo Feng nodded and then disappeared without a sound. Lei Fu monarch watched this scene. An avatar completely self-destructing, and even the means of contact must be through a command token? Such cautiousness from the one in black. Lei Fu monarch glanced at the command token, very curious about the identity of the figure in the black robe and golden mask, but obviously Luo Feng was very careful, making it extremely difficult to probe his identity. I've contacted both Lei Fu monarch and Emperor Xian, now it's just waiting for the results, Luo Feng thought to himself within Huyang City. Emperor Xian had a clone technique and, being extremely proud, was concerned with face. As a result, the other emperors often trusted Emperor Xian with many matters, since he disdained personal gain. Thus, it was easy to locate Emperor Xian's avatar. I wonder what terms these 2 will offer. Luo Feng spoke of negotiating with 5 parties, but in reality, it was only 2. Mt. Leitang inside a majestic hall. 9 monarchs sat apart, some in their true bodies and others in avatars. Gentlemen. The reigning Lei Xiao monarch surveyed the surrounding and spoke. Just now, a black-robed figure with a golden mask offered to sell us a Thousand Dreams fruit. Since the price of the Thousand Dreams fruit does not exceed 3 billion merit points, there's no need to report to the Thunder Ancestor. The decision can be made upon our collective discussion. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.